welcome back to the farm in Thailand with Toon and Lee, and today I'm doing a bit of thinning out. What I mean by that is I'm going to be thinning out the papayas. The beans need a bit of an update as well, so the climbing beans doing quite well. They've germinated better than the bush beans. So at the back, there's two rows here. At the back is the climbing bean, and at the front we've got the bush bean. Now in the UK, when we grew a bush bean or French bean, they didn't climb. That would be called a climbing bean. But here, the bush beans climb as well, so I'm a little bit perplexed by that. Alright, Clop, you stink. What have you been eating, mate? Get out! Bye! Minging. Yeah, so there's a few missing, but really for buying Thai seeds, I think that just from a shop, I think that's all right. We'll settle for that. That's quite a good germination. So where they haven't come up, we put some more beans in there. Hopefully they'll start coming up. But quite happy with that. We just use some old bamboo canes and then put some fishing line dotted around as well. So we got lines of fishing line running like that, and then diagonals up as well. They started to climb up that. So we're happy with that. The cha'om is looking good. We had this last night. Toon makes like a little patty with it with eggs. So very, very good food that. But quite spiky. You get the young ones that they're soft. You can eat those. They'll just, you see, they just break away. We need to do a video of Toon collecting it really, because she'll show you then how to trim it so that they keep on coming. Because a lot of people only really harvest this in the wet season, but you can harvest it all year round if you keep hacking it and keep watering it. So onto the papaya. Incredibly chuffed to pieces with these. So if you're from Newcastle, you'd say that is lush. But excellent. Now all these are grown from seed, taken from I think just 2 fruit off that papaya tree you can see there next to the lesbian catfish tank. Okay, so they're not the biggest papayas, but they're very good eating. Transplanted a few. Now transplanting them is pretty straightforward, but now we're in the dry season. They do take a bit of a battering in the hot weather. So what we've decided to do is whenever we... Bye! So we lost Bambi last week. Not even 24 hours after she went. Obviously she wasn't here to protect the puppies. There was a big fight, and that's what happened. So there's a big power struggle at the moment. We've got to keep our eyes on them. Because it's the dry season and the sun does take its toll on these young trees, we've sort of like changed how we transplant them. So we give them extra water sort of like 24 hours before we're going to dig them out. Get the holes ready for them to go in and water that a lot, and then put 2 plants in one hole. So if one dies, of course you've still got another one. If they both survive, then you just nip out the weakest one in a couple of weeks. But it's the first week really that you want those roots to take hold. After their first week, that's it. They skyrocket. So if you can get them through the first week, all right, you're laughing kit bags. Now a lot of people may think, why are you growing so many papaya? There's papaya everywhere. We're selling loads now. A lot of people want them for somtam, so we've got a friend that buys these every 2 days, and she's kindly offered for us to sell our ripe ones out the front, 5 baht a kg, which sounds rubbish, but honestly, the far papaya tree there, the fruits average over 2 kg, so 10 baht for a papaya. So every 2 or 3 days we just drop off 3 or 4 of those to her, and they're sold within, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. So a good little outlet. We haven't even really tried yet to market them, but yeah, it's all good. So that's what lays ahead for me today. I'm flying solo. Toon hasn't gone shopping for anything. She's at the village house, clearing it all out. We spent a day there yesterday, and she's just really cleaning it today. And we've got some people to rent it for a few months while they're building their house. So all good, onwards and upwards. We would ideally like to sell the house, but up until then, we'll rent it out as and when we can. Right then, enough blah de blah. Might be a bit tricky to see this, guys, but the way I get these out is just cut on all 4 sides around the papaya, about 2 inches away from the plant, and just prise them up. You do tend to get like a long taproot with these, so the more you can keep it intact, of course, the better they'll transplant. But I just heard that snap, but that's not too bad. Any less than that and I'd probably bin it, but remember, we're going to put 2 in each hole. But they look nice and healthy, really good. That'll do for starters. I don't know, probably about 25 plants or so there. Got some feed for them and the trusty shovel. So I'll go and show you where they're going to be put in, and then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Alright gang, alright girl. Right, here we are. The trusty small-headed shovel, working well. Not going down too far, only about 5 or 6 inches. We haven't had any rain for, I would say getting on for about 3 weeks now. But you can still see there's a little bit of moisture still in the soil. So a good time to plant. Now I wouldn't normally plant these out mid-morning because of the sun, but you look along here, it's all nicely shaded. So we're putting them in here during the day, no problem. There's a lot of different opinions out on the internet, best way to grow papayas. Honestly guys, it is piece of piss. It's just really getting the hole right, watering it right, and the position of them out of the sun, or protecting them from the sun for the first few days, and then they're so bloody easy, it's unbelievable. So I would say easier than bananas. What we do, we've got some fertiliser left over from when we did our first crop of rice. We just pop that in the hole. Now a lot of people, certainly out in Thailand, say don't put any fertiliser in any holes when you're transplanting any crops. I don't know why. I think maybe they want the roots to establish and they fear that the plant will bolt. The reason that I'm really keen on putting it in is so that it sits right at the bottom where the roots are. What a lot of Thai people do, and I don't know about with the rest of the world, but what a lot of papaya growers do as well is put the vitamin on the fertiliser on top of the soil after the first month. Well, we're in the dry season now, so even if you're watering regularly, it doesn't get right down to the roots, guys. So again, you know, we're probably doing it a bit different to most people, but we've tried it other ways and this is the best for us. Okay. Another thing we found is don't make the hole too big. Deep's alright, you could put a bit of soft soil back down the bottom, but if you make it like that, that water will stay in there for a lot longer than if you did a hole the size of a bucket and then fill it back up with the soft soil. So again, it's just really trying to maximise your efforts. So we're maximising the water, the fertiliser, and we're also maximising the chances of the plant surviving. If they don't, we've got a spare 1 or 2 in there. Some of these are so small, I'm putting 3. If they're like that, I'll put 3. So you probably get 3 different sizes. Okay, that's your basic stamp that I've been putting in there, and just rest them in there, and then fill it up with the soft stuff. And that is that, folks. From start to finish, I suppose an hour and a half, 15 holes. So what's that? About 45 plants, but hopefully just 15 healthy ones in the end. So I just had a little bit of that rice straw left over, just mulched it round there. They've got a Papayas version of brewer's droop at the moment, but give them a couple of days and they should erectify themselves. See what I did there? So that's it. I just need to get out here and just do a bit of scraping, balance the soil out a bit, and all good. So, at the moment we're clearing eucalyptus. So, mixture of strimming, using a scythe, and then using the shovel as well. Not tractoring this time of year, but give it a rest for a while. Just get all the weed in the middle, let it rot down, and then fold it all in with Caesar later on. So we've just got to be careful with, you know, now we've started putting straw on the land. If the straw hasn't rotted down and you turn that into the soil, you cover it, you're covering carbon, and it'll start taking nitrogen out of your soil, which is the opposite of what you want to be doing. I'll show you a row that I've scraped clear. Very, very happy how the trees are doing. I don't know how many months it is now, but a lot of people have stopped as they've been coming past, impressed with the growth rates. And yeah, chuffed. It's going well. Onwards and upwards, as we keep saying. And put a couple of Mighty My sacks in here. Super hard wood. Very expensive as well. They're quite slow growing, but they're brilliant trees. So we can either sell them later on or use them for building ourselves. Got a few things dotted around out here. Guerrilla gardening, as we say. Looking good. Coconut tree. Right, that'll do for now. That's it then. So an hour and a half working in the shade. It's not too hard, is it? Quite enjoyable. Gang's happy to get out the sun as well. And you go, eh? Ain't you?